And if the universe decides that it is better for you to not get what you wanted and to give you something else, if you had it in your mind that it had to be a certain way, you're going to be quite disappointed and you're going to totally miss the miracle that the universe is bringing you because it doesn't look the way that you wanted it to be. So we don't have to grasp onto things that we think we need. We can rather open ourselves up to what is best for us and let the universe surprise us. Hey, it's Yas. Welcome to the Divinely Guided Book Club. I am sitting in my car in the rain. My husband and I just went out for a walk. We were kind of hoping that we would be able to get through it before the rain came down heavy, but it hit us while we were out on a walk. Thankfully, we had an umbrella. But it was interesting. Like, I wouldn't normally do this type of thing. It's very uncomfortable. I don't like to be wet while I'm out, but it keeps life interesting. I guess life would be pretty boring if we only played it safe and were dry all the time. So I'm sitting in the car now. My husband has gone in to get his hair cut, and then we're going to head out for our date day. We do that every weekend. So I thought we can chat a bit about this reading theme. We're into our first month of the theme being the light, and I have chosen to read a book about healing my body, mostly the food that I eat and how it makes me feel physically and energetically, and I'm pretty sure that it affects me emotionally as well. I've been working on that, focusing on that, wanting to clear out any density and any type of food, or actually anything, any form that I consume that has been making me feel drained and tired and exhausted. I just want to work through that area and to feel much better. So I've been reading this book, Loving Yourself to Great Health, and I have been struggling to get through it because the book ended up being much more like factual. There's a lot of factual information about the body and health and like how the body operates, the different parts of the body and how it works and what it does and why it's so important to eat certain types of food so that each part of our body can function in the best way possible. Very useful and valuable to know this type of information, but I have not read this type of information since I was in high school when I did biology. And I didn't even complete biology because I think it was 3 months into choosing biology. We called it bio. I just had a complete change of heart, and I ended up switching my subjects. I'm not sure what you call it in high school. In university, it's called majors, and high school, I don't know, course? I don't remember what it was called, but I switched from the science course to the commerce business course, and it made no sense back then, but it makes sense now, more than 10 years later. But anyway, I haven't read this type of information in well over 10 years, so my brain has been a bit hesitant to dive into the book. I am how many pages in? Let's see. I'm only 79 pages in. This is depressing. I normally devour books, but I am still showing up even though it is difficult. Like how I went out for a walk in the rain. It's uncomfortable, but I know that there's definitely something to benefit. Even if I only take away 1% from this book, that can potentially make things better for me and it lasts a long time, then it is worth it. And it is okay if I get through it very slowly. But that's why the book club is designed in this way, to take a good 3 months to get through a book. And even if you're not done in that 3 months, then that's fine. You just carry it over to the next one. So what I found really interesting in this book is something that was shared by Louise Hay. She's one of the authors. And what I love so much about Louise and her teachings is that she believes in the power of the mind and how we can harness the energy of our mind and positive thinking and visualizations and affirmations. There's so many affirmations in this book. There's an activity that involves creating a vision board for your health to live a healthier life. And I thought, wow, that is quite interesting. I haven't really heard of creating a vision board for your health. I've heard about creating a vision board for all the things that you want to manifest, like the physical material things that you want to attract. And yeah, you know, I'm sure you would have come across a vision board. Maybe you have created some yourself. And I've created many vision boards in the past. I've done only one with actual physical material on a piece of cardboard. And I decided to be more sustainable and create my vision boards digitally. I use Canva to do that. But in the last few months, I've actually changed my approach to vision boards, and it's making me think that I actually, like, unconsciously took on what Louise is suggesting, where we create a vision for ourselves that is going to be beneficial for our health, of what it is that we need right now in this moment. So forget about all the fancy, flashy, sparkly things that looks nice on paper, but ask ourselves, what do we need right now in order to have the big, flashy, sparkly things? If that's what you want, you don't have to want that. But say, for instance, you have this dream of traveling all the time. Like, is your health at the right place to even go for a walk that is 10 to 30 minutes long? Can you do that? Can you walk for hours at a time? Because traveling will require a lot of walking. Like, you have to be in a really good physical state. You have to be in a reasonable mental and emotional state to be able to do that. It's quite taxing on your body. And so instead of trying to call in all of these experiences that we think we want, the truth is we don't truly know what it is that we want that's going to make us happy, because I have gotten so many things off my vision boards in the past. Some of them have been accurate, like down to the minor details, and some of them have been very close. Like the experience that I wanted, I still got, but it just came in a slightly different form. And quite a lot of the time, I was not that impressed, and I wasn't that amazed, and my life did not change profoundly after getting those things. And what I've learned from this experience of visualizing and manifesting is that it's not so much about specific things that we want to call in, but it's rather the experience of how it makes us feel. And we don't actually have to focus so much on the physical manifestation and the specifics of what it needs to look like and those minor details. You may have heard when you're manifesting, you need to get really, really specific if you want to get what you're wanting to get. But you know what that can lead to is a lot of despair and disappointment if what is for your highest good is not what you wanted. And if the universe decides that it is better for you to not get what you wanted and to give you something else, if you had it in your mind that it had to be a certain way, you're going to be quite disappointed, and you're going to totally miss the miracle that the universe is bringing you because it doesn't look the way that you wanted it to be. So I feel like I've gone so far off track of what I actually wanted to talk about, which is vision boards. So let's get back to that. I have totally changed my approach to vision boards, and I didn't create a new one because I'm going to explain to you just how simple it has been for me in the last few months. And going through this book is just helping me reaffirm that I'm doing things in a way that's actually really good for me. It may seem like these really simple micro actions and so seemingly insignificant, like it's not going to result in getting anything specific, but that's okay, because we don't have to grasp onto things that we think we need. We can rather open ourselves up to what is best for us and let the universe surprise us with what is so good and so far from what we may have ever imagined. So my vision board lately is literally a picture of a portal. So how my vision boards have progressed in the past is I have visualized what my life would look like in my dream job, the very specific things that I would create, the types of people I'd work with, the activities that we'd be doing, what my dream house looks like, what my dream country looks like. I used to do all of those things. I even manifested a best friend for my cat. I wanted him to have a dog best friend, and that's just one example of how manifestations came in a different form. He ended up making a lot of friends with cats where we live. So I didn't actually have to get another pet myself. He just ended up making all of these friends with everyone else's cats. So that's just an example of how you can end up getting so much better than what you thought you wanted. And like I mentioned, I realized along the way as I was getting the things that I wanted and realizing, oh damn, like this doesn't really change much. The moment you get something, you want something else. It's like, it's never enough. If you're always grasping and you're always striving and always feeling like you're lacking, I don't want to say that it is wrong or bad to have desires. Like, that is very much part of being human, and life would be quite empty and weird if we didn't have desires. Like, what would we do? What purpose would we have if we didn't have a desire to create something or fulfill some sort of inner mission? But if we are always feeling like we're not at peace and we can't be still with the life that we have and just the things that are already here, if it's not good enough, if how we feel is just never enough, then guess what? When you do get the things that you want, you may think that, oh, finally, I'm gonna feel like I have enough, like I don't need to strive anymore. No, you're still going to want more. And so my strategy for vision boards, I've kind of just chucked it all out the window, and I am now experimenting with a portal. What I did was I used AI to generate this picture. I typed in words like pink, purple, crystals, portal. Like, when I thought, what does a happy, fulfilling feeling look like to me, where I'm stepping into new experiences and attracting new opportunities that will make me feel so good, so alive, so on purpose. This was what I felt in my heart and what I saw in my mind, like this pinky, purpley jewels and gems and crystals, and a portal that I walk through to attract those opportunities. And I am leaving it totally up to the universe. I'm at a place where I actually don't want to know what's coming. And it's not like I'm being irresponsible or that I don't care about what my future looks like. There's definitely like things that I am working towards, and I have that listed on my list of goals that I'm actively pursuing and my to-do list. So it's not like I'm ignoring the desires that I have, but the bigger vision for my life, I'm actually leaving that up to the universe, because without a doubt, the universe has brought me greater experiences And so much of what has come my way that has actually blown my mind and has made me so happy. Like, for example, leaving behind my former career, which was very much corporate and lots of computer work. Well, I still do computer work now, but it was just a completely different style of working. There wasn't much self-expression. There wasn't much creativity. Well, I suppose the creativity was a bit different, but the way that I get to do it now, I would never, ever, ever have wished for this to be my life, because I didn't even think that this was a possibility. But it came to me when I decided I'm just going to be open and see what arrives. So that is my strategy for the bigger vision of my life. On my cell phone, I also used to have my vision board there in like a much more smaller and compact version. And that was the old outdated vision board that had all of the physical manifestations that I wanted to attract. And now what I'm doing is just appreciating what I have, appreciating my husband and my cat, who I would be. I don't want to know who I'd be and what my life would be if it weren't for them, if I didn't have them, if I weren't so close to them, and if I did not develop the so overwhelmingly close, loving relationships that I have with them. They are what make my life worth it. The things that I get to do and create, of course, are worth it to me. I like what I'm doing here right now, making this content, sharing ideas, and inspiring you to do the same for yourself. I love that, and it does mean a lot to me. But I would not choose anything over the relationship that I have with my husband and my cat. And in the past, when I mentioned that I was doing the traditional vision boards and like always focused on the physical things that I wanted to attract, and always feeling bad and not good enough and disappointed that things were not happening, or they were taking too long, or that I would get what I wanted and I still wouldn't feel good. I was totally missing my life that was happening in real time. I was missing the closeness and the love that was right there and available to me. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be so immersed in my experience and my relationships right now. And so I'm not actually going to focus my attention on anything else, or at least not as much as what is most important to me. So I thought that I would share these very simple ideas with you. The vision that you have for your life, of course, like don't think that if you have these visions of who you're meant to be and what you're meant to do, that it's not good to have that. It is. It's your higher self giving you glimpses of what your future probably looks like. It's a part of yourself that's showing you that you are not only capable, but it is pretty much inevitable that is where you're heading. So follow those visions and continue to engage with those visions. But it really is not that necessary to be hyper fixated on the very specific details and the very specific form of how everything needs to happen. Let the universe handle that. Like, reduce your load. You don't have to carry so much. Carry only what you need, which is your intention to be the greatest version of yourself and to serve the world in the greatest way. And you just keep doing that, and let all the other heavy lifting be handled by the universe. They are here. I'm saying they. Can I call them that? I don't know. I just did. So I hope that this gives you some ideas on how you may want to create vision boards for yourself going forward. I know that in the book where Louise was talking about like visualizing what a healthy life looks like, I'm sure that what she meant is to include pictures of like doing things that will make you feel better energetically and physically. So maybe that could be like preparing healthier foods. It could be a picture of someone going for a walk or a jog, going for a hike, just types of activities that would raise your vibration and fill you with light. I'm sure that's what she had in mind, and it's truly not a bad idea. I do actually think that it is better to have pictures and visuals of the experience that you can have in the moment, instead of having this end state picture of what it is that you want to achieve that can feel so far away from where you are right now. So for example, say you want to get into a particular type of shape with your body, not necessarily lose weight, but maybe you just want to feel more fit and more toned and just more energized. That for me is really what's most important, because you can lose weight and still feel like crap. So say you just want to get to a much better energetic state and feeling, instead of putting pictures of like this really skinny person on your vision board, thinking that that is what you're aspiring towards, rather put down pictures of the activities that you'd be doing, the experiences that you'd be having in order to get to where you want to go. So put the pictures of you making healthy, colorful breakfasts, nutritious breakfasts, making really delicious and healthy lunches and suppers and snacks. And you can also put down activities like going for a walk, going for a run, going for a jog. Even if you don't do those things, you'd be surprised when you put those pictures down, something switches on in your brain and you start to want to do the things that you don't normally do. Like, I did not go on walks. I never went on walks because I don't know, it was not a thing that I did. And now my husband and I are going for walks all the time. And it's because at some point when I was making the shift in my vision board for the pictures to be more the experience rather than the end state, I did include pictures of people going for walks and being out in nature. And now this is our lived experience. And I actually really like it. It's so weird. Like, I never thought that going for a walk, which may seem boring and like not having any further stimulation, because we're not putting in earphones, we're not taking in any information, we're just going for these quiet walks outside. Who would have thought that that would be such a fulfilling experience? And it is. So keep that in mind when you are making your vision board. And if you've never made one before, maybe this would be a super cool thing for you to do. Maybe this is your sign this showed up so that you can make your very first vision board. You can do it physically using paper, cutting out pictures from magazines, or even printing out pictures that you like. But like I mentioned, I prefer to not use up a lot of paper, because there was a time when I used to make vision boards like almost every month or every second month. I didn't want to use up a lot of physical resources, so I went digital, and as a result I could access it from any device wherever I was, and it was just so much more convenient. So think about what will be good for you, what will serve you the most, and do that. And I see my husband, he's coming back, he just had his haircut, he's looking so good. So I'm gonna say goodbye, and I will see you again soon. Hello. Do you want to say hello to my book club?
Hello, book club.
I like your hair.
Thank you very much. Can I get in?
Yes.